Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited for another deep dive, and this time
Oh, this one's
we're going to be looking
really,
at
really fascinating report.
Mercer's Global Talent Trends 2024 report.
Yeah.
And I think, you always want to kind of get to the core
Mm-hmm.
of, complex issues
Yeah.
and do it quickly but thoroughly.
Right.
And I think this report really
Does a great job of that.
does a really great job of just kind of unpacking
Mm-hmm.
all the forces that are shaping the future of work. We're
Yeah.
talking about how AI is
Mhm.
impacting things,
Mm-hmm.
how employee expectations are changing,
Absolutely.
and even, those anxieties that I think we all have
Mm-hmm.
about job security in a world that's changing faster than ever.
Absolutely.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's really interesting. What I found fascinating is that it's not just, technology disrupting jobs. We're
Right.
looking at a
Yeah.
complete transformation of the work experience itself. They call it Workforce 2.0 in this report.
Workforce 2.0.
Yeah,
It sounds like we're getting a software update.
it does, doesn't it?
But seriously,
Yeah.
what does that even mean? What does Workforce 2.0 actually...
What signifies is a fundamental shift, I think.
Okay.
Think of it this way. We're moving away from work being just kind of a transactional thing.
Yeah.
You trade your time for a paycheck
Right.
to more of a dynamic relationship
Mm-hmm.
between employee and employer,
Yeah.
one where skills, value creation, and this human-centric approach
Okay.
are paramount.
So it's not just robots taking our jobs.
Right.
There's more nuance here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that the report highlights
Mhm.
is this tension point.
Okay.
There's all this excitement about AI and automation, but
Mhm.
there's also very real anxieties
Yeah.
among employees about what their future's going to look like.
Hmm.
One of the stats in here is that
Mhm.
over half of executives
I believe that if businesses don't embrace AI at scale, they won't even survive past 2030.
Wow, that's a huge statement.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
And yet,
Yeah.
many employees actually feel more replaceable now
Mhm.
than they did before the pandemic.
Right.
And that obviously impacts their
Yeah.
energy, their productivity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're feeling like you're not valued,
Yeah,
you're not going to be bringing your best self.
exactly.
So we've got this drive for AI-powered productivity on one side, and then
Right.
we've got,
Mhm.
employees who are feeling undervalued, maybe even threatened on the
Inclined
other
to that.
side.
Yeah.
So how do we balance this?
So the reports actually suggests that
Mhm.
we need to be thinking about a new
Okay.
definition of productivity.
Okay.
It's
Right.
no longer just about hours clocked or
Yeah.
widgets produced,
Right.
but about recognizing and optimizing.
And the unique value that humans bring to the table,
Yeah.
particularly in this, when AI can handle so many
Right.
routine tasks,
Right.
they call it human-centric productivity.
Human-centric productivity. I like that.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of companies might be missing the human
Yes.
in their rush
That's
to
very much so.
automate everything. Mhm.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Technology's powerful,
Yeah.
but it's only one piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
To unlock true productivity,
Okay.
organizations need to focus on
Yeah.
upskilling and reskilling their workforce,
Mm-hmm.
prioritizing employee well-being,
Yeah.
and actually redesigning
Yeah.
work itself.
Redesigning work.
Yeah.
That sounds like a massive undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you even begin with that?
It really starts with a shift in perspective.
Okay.
We have to move away from thinking about jobs
Mm-hmm.
as fixed lists of tasks
Okay.
and instead start breaking them down.
Into their core components. And then from there, you figure out, okay, which tasks are best suited for humans,
Mm-hmm.
which ones can be enhanced by AI,
Right.
and which ones can be fully automated.
Right.
And this not only boosts productivity, but also it creates more fulfilling roles
Oh,
for
I
people.
The report highlights a company,
Mm-hmm.
Longi.
Yeah.
It's a solar technology company.
Yeah.
And they saw a 15%
Mm.
increase in their internal talent growth rate
Wow.
just by focusing on skills development
That's a
and giving employees more ownership over projects.
Yeah.
So
That's a great example of how investing in...
it's a great example of how investing in people
Yeah.
really pays off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And they need to go beyond
yeah.
just implementing new technologies. They actually need to invest in the training,
Right.
empower employees to use these tools effectively. It's about helping people thrive.
In this new landscape, not just survive.
The report spends a lot of time on this idea of flexible working.
Yes.
And it seems like this is no longer just a nice perk.
Right.
This is really a fundamental part of...
Exactly. It's part of the productivity equation now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's gone beyond just location. Right. It has. Mercer outlines 6 dimensions of flexibility.
Okay.
Where, when, what, who, how, and why we work.
That why is interesting.
It is, isn't it? Because it
That's-
speaks to this larger shift.
Yeah.
Employees want more than just a paycheck. They want to feel like their work has meaning.
Right.
So,
Tying those flexible work arrangements to a company's mission and purpose,
yes.
I think is really powerful for boosting engagement.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
This whole idea of a skills-based talent model seems to be a big
It's a big trend.
trend too. What do you think is driving that?
It's closely linked.
Okay. I think to the rise of AI and automation,
Right.
as traditional job roles become more fluid,
Yeah.
companies are starting to value and reward skills over job titles or years of experience.
Yeah.
It's a much more agile and responsive
Right.
approach to talent management.
And internal talent marketplaces play a key role in this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it creates a platform for connecting employees with opportunities that match their skills and aspirations.
Right.
It's about breaking down silos, encouraging internal mobility, fostering continuous learning.
Right.
It's a win-win for employees and employers.
It's a great example in the report of a design and engineering firm, Arcadis.
Yes. They're seeing a lot of...
And they are using a skills-based approach to retain talent and enable career growth. They're even using tech to match skills to tasks.
Right. And connect employees with internal opportunities.
You love that example.
Yeah, they're all in on this idea of skills.
They are.
So...
And they're seeing positive results from that, too.
Yeah.
A significant portion of their employees are actively using the platform, exploring new opportunities, and taking advantage of personalized learning resources.
Yeah.
It shows how you can use technology to create a more dynamic and engaging work experience.
So far, this all sounds pretty optimistic. But the report also paints a picture of declining employee trust, broken promises, and perceived unfairness seem to be taking a toll.
Trust is essential for a thriving workforce. And unfortunately, a lot of organizations are falling short. The report identifies 3 key factors that contribute to trust.
What are those?
Benevolence,
Okay.
competence, and integrity.
Okay. Let's break those down. So benevolence.
Benevolence is about...
Is that about actually caring about your employees?
It's about listening to them, understanding their needs, and creating an environment that supports their well-being, showing that you actually care about them as people, not just the bottom line.
And competence.
The competence.
It sounds like having capable leaders.
It is about that, but it's also about those leaders trusting their employees enough to give them autonomy to make decisions and contribute their unique skills.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Employees need to trust that their leaders are competent.
Absolutely.
And leaders need to trust that their employees can handle the responsibility.
Exactly.
And then integrity.
Integrity seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's about
being honest, transparent,
walking the talk, aligning actions with words, keeping your promises, being accountable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is crucial when it comes to things like pay equity.
Absolutely.
And transparency.
Yeah.
You know.
The report actually notes that employees are demanding fairness and transparency, and they have every right.
Absolutely. Something I found really interesting in the report is how much employees are looking to their organizations to prioritize social issues and sustainability. They want action, not just words.
That's right. Purpose-driven work is a major theme in the report, and it's tightly linked to employee trust. and engagement.
Right.
People want to feel like they're contributing to something bigger than themselves, something that's aligned with their values.
Right. And they hold their employers accountable.
And they hold their employers accountable for making a positive impact on the world.
The report even points out that failing to deliver on sustainability commitments can damage trust just as much as broken promises.
It's all connected.
On promotions or pay raises. It's all connected.
It is. Organizations need to be authentic and transparent about their values and their commitments. They can't just talk about sustainability or social responsibility. They need to take real action because employees can spot hypocrisy.
They can.
It's a mile away.
If companies aren't walking the talk, employees are more likely to walk right out the door.
Right.
And especially in a competitive talent market.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge risk.
Absolutely. The report highlights that employee trust is crucial for retention, engagement, and even this sense of thriving at work.
Yeah.
If people don't feel valued and trusted, they'll look for opportunities elsewhere.
The report also kind of dives into what helps employees thrive. And it's fascinating how those priorities differ across regions. For example, feeling valued for their contributions ranks much higher for U.S. and Canadian employees compared to those in China, where
working for a purpose that they're proud of is the top factor.
So it's interesting how these cultural nuances play out. But some core themes.
Some core themes remain consistent, though. You know, across the board, employees want a sense of purpose, belonging, and value. They want to be recognized for their contributions and feel like they're part of a supportive and inclusive community.
The report gives an example of Siemens Energy creating this globally consistent leave policy, addressing things like childbirth and caregiving.
They're putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to employee well-being.
And it's a tangible way for organizations to really show
a way to show commitment
to their employees.
It acknowledges that people have lives outside of work and they need flexibility and support to manage all their different roles and responsibilities.
Another big theme in the report is this idea of pay transparency.
It is, and it's becoming an expectation, not just a nice to have.
It's becoming an expectation. And
employees want to know they're being paid fairly, both compared to the market and their colleagues. And when you hide salary information, it just breeds distrust and creates perceptions of inequity.
Absolutely.
So transparency is key to building a fair workplace.
The report shares the London Stock Exchange Group's efforts to achieve bias-free pay and increase representation.
They're using data.
They're using data
to analyze pay gaps.
And
implement initiatives.
And then implement initiatives to address those root causes. And they're being transparent.
They're being transparent about their progress, too, which builds trust and accountability.
Which is great. So we've covered...
Exactly. They're walking the walk on pay equity.
They are.
And inclusion.
So I've kind of covered the changing nature of work, the need for trust, and the shift to a skills-first approach. But the report also talks about risk and resilience in this new world. It seems like organizations are facing a whole new set of challenges. They are. And it goes beyond just, external threats like cybersecurity or climate change. Though those are certainly significant.
Of course.
But it's also about these internal risks like burnout, disengagement, lack of adaptability. The report makes a really striking point. It does. They say people risks are business risks. And they even highlight how some asset managers view a churn and burn approach to talent as damaging. As damaging to business value. The business value, which is
a powerful statement.
That is a powerful statement. Yeah. So it underscores the need for a holistic approach to risk and resilience organizations.
Need to proactively manage both internal and external risks. And build this culture of awareness and adaptability.
There's a really fascinating case study in the report of the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, APRA.
Yes.
And their efforts to embed this risk-aware culture in financial institutions.
They're pushing for a much more proactive and comprehensive approach to risk management.
Yeah. It seems like they're really trying to push for that proactive and comprehensive.
And it goes beyond just setting rules.
Okay.
They're focused on empowering employees at all levels to identify and address risks.
It's really about creating a culture where everyone feels responsible for managing risk.
Yes.
Not just a select few. So speaking of risk and change, let's talk about digital transformation. It is a huge
major
theme
in the report. And it seems like a lot of organizations are struggling to keep up.
Digital transformation is no longer just about implementing new technologies. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset and culture. It's about embracing new ways of working, using data to make informed decisions, creating a more agile organization. And that's where I think a lot of organizations
The report mentions that 67% of organizations adopt new technology without actually...
It's changing the way they work.
It's almost like they just...
It's like they just slap a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, it's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for frustration. And wasted investment. Yeah. So organizations fall into this trap of thinking that new software or platforms are magically going to solve their problems. But true digital transformation requires a much deeper level of change. It's a change in how people think, collaborate, and make decisions.
Yeah, it's a fundamental cultural shift. The report really stresses this importance of this digital-first culture. And it sounds like this goes beyond just gadgets and apps.
It goes beyond that.
It's about a mindset.
It's about a mindset
of embracing digital ways of working and continuously adapting to
new technologies.
So it's about creating an environment where employees are comfortable experimenting with new technologies, sharing ideas, learning from each other.
Fostering innovation and agility so the organization can quickly adapt to this ever-changing digital landscape.
And it seems like those employees who are already digitally inclined are more likely to thrive and stay with their employers.
Because in today's world, they expect seamless and intuitive digital experience at work, similar to what they experience in their personal lives. And if you're an organization and you fall behind, you risk losing top talent to companies that are more digitally savvy.
Makes sense. The report gives this example of Avery Dennison. It's a manufacturing firm that's transforming into a digital powerhouse. And they are taking this human-centric approach to digital transformation.
They're focusing on
creating a really smooth and positive employee experience. And they're seeing fantastic results. Their new digital platform not only streamlines HR processes, but it also provides this single access point for all employee needs.
Great example of how organizations can leverage technology to improve both efficiency and the employee experience.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
In this first part of our deep dive. The changing nature of work, the importance of trust and resilience, and these challenges of digital transformation. We've also seen
some companies navigating these shifts successfully.
Some great examples of companies really doing this well. But I'm curious, what does this all mean? Welcome back to our deep dive into the future of work.
It's
in part one, we talked about those major forces shaping Workforce 2.0, AI, skills-based talent models,
right,
and that really crucial need for trust and resilience within organizations. But let's get practical.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for you?
Right.
How can you not only survive, but actually thrive in this Workforce 2.0?
Well, I think one of the things the report offers is this idea of adopting a learn-it-all mindset.
A learn-it-all.
As opposed to just being a know-it-all.
Okay, tell me more.
So, in the past, we might have focused on mastering a specific set of skills and kind of sticking with those throughout our careers.
Right.
But in Workforce 2.0, adaptability and continuous learning are really essential.
Okay.
It's less about having all the answers.
And more about being curious, willing to experiment, and always expanding your skill set.
The report also emphasizes digital competence.
Yes.
Which makes sense given...
It does, given the rise of AI.
The rise of AI and automation. But what does that...
What does that mean?
And what does that look like in practice?
It goes beyond just knowing how to use specific software. It's about understanding the broader digital landscape, being able to adapt to new technologies, and thinking critically about how technology can be used to solve problems and create value.
So more about comfort.
I think so.
With technology and a willingness to learn new things as they pop up. The report also mentions data fitness.
Yes.
Which sounds...
It sounds intriguing.
I mean...
what does data fitness actually mean?
Being data literate. The ability to understand, interpret, and communicate data.
For sure, that's not necessary.
It's becoming increasingly valuable in every job, not just tech and analytics.
So... not becoming a data scientist.
Right.
But being able to understand...
It's about seeing the stories hidden within data. And using that information to make smart decisions.
So being able to have a conversation about data and its implications without getting lost.
Yeah. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone's presenting a bunch of charts and graphs. Data fitness means you can ask insightful questions. You can challenge assumptions. And contribute meaningfully to the discussion.
So we've got the learn-it-all mindset. We've got digital competence.
Yes.
We've got data fitness.
What other skills or attributes?
Skills or attributes
are going to be crucial for success in Workforce 2.0.
What do you think?
Collaboration and communication skills are more critical than ever as work becomes more complex and interconnected. And the ability to work effectively with others, both in person and virtually.
Wait, I would have thought that all of this focus on automation and technology would maybe reduce...
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would think it would reduce the need for human interaction.
But actually, it's kind of the opposite. As AI takes over these routine tasks, the work that's left for humans often involves higher level thinking, problem solving, and creativity. And those activities really require strong collaboration and communication skills.
So it's those uniquely human skills that are harder to replicate with machines. That become even more important.
Precisely. Empathy, critical thinking, creativity, problem solving. These are the skills that'll set you apart.
So it's not about competing against machines.
It's about working with them. It's about learning to work with them and leverage
our human strengths.
I like that.
I do too.
And I think...
Don't underestimate the importance of networking and relationship building either. As these traditional organizational structures become more fluid. Your network becomes your lifeline. Connect with people who share your interests.
Learn from each other and support each other's growth.
The report also emphasizes radical simplicity.
Yes.
Which seems...
It seems a bit
But counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive in a world.
In a world that feels increasingly complex.
Yeah.
So how do we...
It's about cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly matters in a world that's overflowing with information and distractions.
Right.
The ability to simplify processes, streamline communication, and prioritize effectively becomes incredibly valuable.
So not dumbing things down.
Right. But being thoughtful.
Yeah, being thoughtful and intentional about
how we approach
work.
Yeah. This all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it?
How do we actually do it? This is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, how can individuals take concrete steps to prepare for this?
Well, first, take ownership of your own development.
Okay.
Don't wait for your employer.
Right.
He hand you all the training and resources.
Right.
Be proactive.
Okay.
Identify in-demand skills in your field.
Right.
And seek opportunities to learn and grow.
The report mentions those internal talent marketplaces as a good way to kind of explore
new opportunities.
And connect with people. Who share your interests. So
explore those projects or gigs, even if they're outside your current role.
Right.
It's a great way to broaden your skills, network with people in different departments, and gain valuable experience.
What if your company doesn't? What if your company doesn't have one of those internal talent marketplaces?
Right.
Well, there are tons of online platforms and communities where you can connect with people in your field.
Right.
Learn new skills.
Right.
And even find freelance or gig work.
Right.
So
it's not...
The report also emphasizes building a strong online presence, especially for those embracing the gig economy or remote work.
Right.
Your online presence is your digital resume.
Right.
It's how you showcase your skills, experience, and personality to the world.
Okay.
It's how potential employers or clients find you.
So we're talking about an updated LinkedIn profile, a portfolio website, or even
contributing to online communities.
Right,
to online communities or forums.
Yeah, be visible.
Okay.
Be active and demonstrate your expertise.
Right.
Don't be afraid to network. Reach out to people you admire and build relationships in your field.
So taking control.
It's about taking control of your career destiny.
Being proactive, adaptable, and continuously investing.
Continuously investing in your growth.
Yeah,
that's the key takeaway.
Yep.
Workforce 2.0 is a world of opportunity, but it's also one of constant change.
Right.
Those who embrace the change and are willing to learn and adapt would be the ones
who thrive.
I'm
also curious about AI's impact on job security. The report mentions some executives who believe that jobs, not people, should be made redundant.
It suggests a commitment to reskilling and redeploying employees whose roles are impacted by AI.
Right. Is that realistic, do you think?
It's encouraging to see that mindset shift, but it's important to be realistic. Some jobs will be automated, and workers are going to need to adapt and acquire new skills. But this doesn't have to mean mass unemployment.
So not AI taking over the world. But
humans and machines.
Yeah, humans and machines working together.
Yeah. Each doing what they do best.
Right.
The key is to be prepared for these shifts. Be proactive about developing in-demand skills.
Right.
And be open to new
opportunities. We've talked a lot about individual action.
Yeah.
But what about organizations? What's their role?
What role do they play?
What's their role in all of this?
Organizations have a crucial role to play.
Okay.
They need to create a culture of continuous learning and development, providing employees with access to training, resources, and opportunities to experiment with new technologies.
It's not just about...
It's about creating an environment.
Yeah, creating an environment where they feel...
Where they feel supported and encouraged to learn and grow.
Right. It's more than just handing them a laptop.
Exactly. It's about fostering psychological safety, where they feel comfortable taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from those experiences.
The report also highlights the need for those skills-based talent models and internal talent markabilities. They seem really crucial.
They are.
For both individual and organizational agility. Because these traditional
job titles
and hierarchies
are becoming less
relevant. Organizations need to shift towards
valuing
and rewarding skills. Regardless of where they reside.
Where they reside within the company. Okay.
So,
and those internal talent marketplaces.
And those internal talent marketplaces provide a platform to connect those
skills
with opportunities.
Break down silos.
And foster a more dynamic and responsive workforce. And of course, the report also talks about building trust and equity, which seems particularly important in a world where there's so much.
In a world where there's so much anxiety about future of work. Absolutely. Organizations.
So what can
organizations do to address those anxieties?
And communicate.
And build trust.
Clearly. And frequently with employees. And demonstrate their commitment to fairness.
Fairness and equity.
And equity in their decision-making. They also need to listen to their employees.
Listen to their employees.
Understand their concerns. And involve them. In shaping
the future.
The future of work.
So it sounds like a fundamental shift in the relationship between
employee
and employer. It's less about top-down control. And more about
partnership
and collaboration.
Workforce 2.0 isn't just about new technologies.
It's
about new
ways of working,
new ways of relating, and new ways of thinking about the role,
new ways of work
in our lives.
It's a lot to take in.
It is,
but it's also incredibly exciting. It feels like this chance.
It feels like a
future
to create a future of work
that's not only
more productive, but also more meaningful,
and fulfilling. This has been a fantastic deep dive so far.
But we are running out of time. For this
part. But we'll continue this conversation in part 3, where we'll explore some of the broader societal implications of these trends. We'll look at the potential impact on education, government policy, and even the very nature of work itself.
It's a conversation you won't want to miss. Can't wait. See you back here soon.
See you soon.
For that final part.
Of
our deep dive.
Into
the future of work. Welcome back to our final deep dive into the future of work. We've really explored a lot.
We've covered a lot of ground.
In the first 2 parts. We talk about those major trends shaping Workforce 2.0. Those essential skills and mindsets to thrive, and what individuals and organizations can do to prepare.
Absolutely.
But there's this whole other level to this conversation.
There is. We've been focusing a lot on businesses and individual workers. But these trends have much broader societal implications as well.
It's not just happening within companies.
Impacting everything.
So how will Workforce 2.0 reshape our education systems, our government policies, and even our very understanding of what work means?
Big questions.
So let's start with education. If skills are the new currency of work, how do we prepare young people for this future?
So I think one of the things that's happening is that traditional education, with its emphasis on rote learning and standardized tests, is becoming increasingly misaligned with what the modern workplace actually needs. We're moving into a world where adaptability, critical thinking, problem solving reigns supreme. And that requires a fundamental shift in how we approach education.
So less about memorizing facts.
Right, see, more about
learning. Less about memorizing facts and more about learning how to learn.
Yeah, how to learn, how to adapt.
How to adapt.
And apply knowledge creatively.
And apply knowledge creatively.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to equip students with the tools and mindsets to navigate constant change and technological disruption.
So fostering curiosity,
creativity, and a love of lifelong learning.
Yeah,
the report.
It also means teaching them to collaborate, communicate clearly, and think critically about information.
Yeah. The report highlights this growing gap between what employers need and what
educational institutions are.
Yeah, and what schools are delivering. It sounds like a disconnect that could have huge
serious
consequences. So how do we bridge this gap?
And it's not just about specific technical skills. It's about those broader competencies.
Yeah.
Like
critical thinking, problem solving, communication.
These are skills that are transferable.
Those skills are transferable across industries.
Regardless of how
technology evolves.
Right. So how
do we bridge this gap?
What can education institutions do?
They need to become more agile and responsive to the changing needs of the workplace.
So partnering with businesses
to develop curricula that are aligned. With real world skills. Incorporating more experience.
Incorporating opportunities like internships, apprenticeships, project-based learning. I mean, that can give students
give them practical experience and exposure to the world of work.
I think STEM education also needs more emphasis.
Yeah.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
As technology advances, the demand for STEM skills is only going to intensify.
Right. We need to inspire more young people.
Yeah, inspire more young people to pursue careers.
In these fields.
In those fields.
And that requires investment in STEM education.
Yeah, investment at every level.
From
early childhood to higher ed.
Yeah. But it's not just about
STEM.
Right. It's also about nurturing.
Right. It's about those uniquely
human skills.
Yeah. What we talked about earlier.
Right.
Creativity.
Critical thinking. Communication, collaboration. Yeah, it's about finding that right balance. Between technical expertise and these human skills.
Technical expertise and those human skills.
And that's what will set people apart in a world where
machines can do.
What's going to set them apart?
More and more of those routine tasks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about education. What about government?
So government...
How can policymakers help?
The government has a
big role to play in a number of key areas.
To Workforce 2.0, what can they do?
First, investing in infrastructure that supports digital
connectivity and
access technology.
Yeah.
This is especially important in rural communities or underserved
rural communities.
In rural or underserved.
Yeah, where that digital divide
could be a real
barrier.
It's not a luxury to have high-speed internet. It's essential.
For participating in the modern economy.
But beyond infrastructure.
Governments need to support workforce development.
So things like initiatives.
Retraining programs.
Apprenticeships. Yeah. To help workers
adapt to those changing
demands of the labor
market. There's a lot of anxiety about AI and automation.
There is.
Eliminating jobs. What can governments do?
That's a complex issue.
Yeah.
Without a simple solution.
Right. To address those concerns. Yeah.
Some experts have proposed a universal basic income to provide a safety net for those whose jobs are displaced.
Yeah.
Others focus on investing in education and retraining programs to equip.
Right, to give them skills for those. With the skills they need.
New roles.
Those new roles.
The report also mentions the need for potentially new labor laws and regulations.
It mentions the need for new labor laws and regulations.
To protect workers in the gig economy.
Workers.
Right. More and more people are turning to freelance and gig work.
Key economy.
Yeah. So making sure.
With more people turning.
That they have access to benefits.
It's crucial to ensure
they have
access to benefits and protections.
Yeah. I think the traditional model of full-time employment is definitely evolving.
Full-time employment.
And our legal framework.
We need to adapt.
Adapt to reflect those these changes. Okay, so we've talked about education.
Right.
We've talked about government policy.
Government policy.
Let's zoom out.
Let's zoom out even further.
How will Workforce 2.0 change the way...
How will Workforce 2.0 change the way...
we work.
We live, work, and interact.
Yeah, what are the broader societal...
Broader implications.
Societal.
Implications.
Where are we going with all this?
I mean, predicting the future is always tricky.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure.
Okay.
Workforce 2.0 is going to fundamentally reshape our relationship with
work.
Work itself. You know, with automation and remote work on the rise. That 9-to-5 workday is fading.
We're entering a world.
We are. We're entering a world where
work is more flexible.
Work is more flexible.
More personalized. More integrated into our life.
More integrated.
Yeah. And that could
both. And that could be
liberating and challenging, right?
Liberating, challenging. I mean, more flexibility and autonomy are great. But
it also blurs those lines.
Between work and personal life.
Yeah. Making it harder to disconnect.
So I guess we have to...
Yeah, it is a double-edged sword.
Reevaluate how we define work-life balance.
Yeah, we have to reevaluate how we define...
And create structures. That support well-being. This new reality.
What happens to this concept as work becomes more project-based?
And fluid. It's no longer about climbing a predictable corporate ladder.
That traditional linear career path is becoming less common.
So people will have, will likely have multiple
careers, side hustles, portfolio careers. Yeah.
Piecing together work that aligns with
your interests and skills.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. For some. But could be unsettling for those who are seeking stability and predictability.
People seeking stability.
Yeah. It requires
greater adaptability, greater
entrepreneurship. And that proactive career management. Wow. This has been a truly
I've covered a lot of our ground.
Deep dive. We've explored those key trends. Shaping Workforce 2.0. From AI's rise to the importance
of
skills and adaptability.
We've talked about the implications.
For individuals, organizations,
and society as a whole.
Any final thoughts? As they navigate this?
I would say, as AI and automation reshape the world. Remember this.
Okay.
Your unique human skills and experiences are your most valuable assets.
So embrace lifelong learning. Cultivate creativity.
And problem-solving.
Problem-solving abilities.
And never stop exploring.
And never stop opportunities. The future of work isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you...
actively create.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic takeaway.
It is.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For joining us.
It's been my pleasure.
On this deep dive into the future of work.
Yeah.
To our listeners, keep learning, keep growing, and keep thriving.
Keep thriving in this exciting
new world.
We'll
see you on our next deep dive.
Yes.